the deadly food that is destroying your nerves. Your brain is in danger. Did you know that what's on your plate could be destroying your nerves in silence? Could it be that some of the foods you consume every day could be harming your health without you realizing it? And worse, would it be possible that small changes in diet would help reverse this damage and protect your brain? Neuropathy, or nerve damage, is a condition that can affect your quality of life drastically. It can cause numbness, tingling, severe pain, and even loss of mobility. And the scariest thing is that many cases of neuropathy are not caused by accidents or rare diseases, but by something you ingest daily. Certain foods promote inflammation, impair blood circulation, and directly affect nerve cell regeneration. The result? Your nervous system begins to fail, and symptoms may arise without warning. But is there a bigger culprit? Is there a specific food that can be largely responsible for putting your brain at risk? The answer may surprise you, and even change the way you see food. So stay with me until the end, because today you will find out what the worst villains of your nerve health are, and more importantly, which foods can help reverse this damage. Let's get started. You may be unknowingly self-destructing, the danger lurking in your diet. Every day, you consume foods that seem harmless but silently erode your health. Dyes, preservatives, bad fats, and hidden sugars inflame your body, unbalance your microbiota, and accelerate cellular aging. The worst? This happens slowly, with no obvious symptoms at first. When you realize it, the damage is already done. But the good news is that with awareness and simple changes, it is possible to stop this destructive cycle right now. What causes neuropathy, and how might your diet be making it worse? Peripheral neuropathy, often associated with diabetes, can be aggravated by a diet high in sugar, ultra-processed foods, and nutritional deficiencies. The lack of B vitamins, especially B12, and the excess of food toxins compromise the health of the nerves. If you experience tingling, burning, or numbness, your diet may be directly contributing. What you choose to eat daily can determine the advancement or control of the problem. Is it possible to reverse nerve damage just by changing the diet? Yes, in many cases, adopting a diet rich in the right nutrients can help regenerate damaged nerves. Anti-inflammatory foods, rich in antioxidants, omega-3 and B vitamins, especially B12, are essential in this process. Reducing the consumption of sugar and processed foods is also essential. Although each case is unique, studies show that the right diet can stop the progression of neuropathy and even reverse some of the damage. What happens to your brain when you consume these dangerous foods? Ultra-processed foods, rich in trans fats, sugars, and chemical additives, cause inflammation in the brain and directly affect your cognitive function. Frequent consumption can lead to memory loss, difficulty concentrating, and increased risk of diseases such as Alzheimer's and depression. The blood-brain barrier weakens, allowing toxins to enter. The result? An overloaded, tired, and vulnerable brain. Taking care of your diet is protecting your brain every day. What are the consequences of ignoring these signs and continuing to eat wrong? Ignoring the body's signals, such as constant fatigue, pain, mood swings, or slow digestion, can lead to serious illnesses. A bad diet not only affects weight, but also the nervous system, brain, intestine, and heart. In the long term, the result can be chronic inflammation, neuropathy, dementia, and other serious problems. The longer you postpone the change, the greater the damage. Start before it's too late. The 11 poisons that are silently attacking your nerves. 11. Processed meats, the enemy you put on your plate every day. Processed meats are part of many people's routines. Practical, tasty, and easy to prepare, they are in sandwiches, pizzas, and even in homemade dishes. But what few people know is that these foods may be wreaking silent havoc on your nervous system. Sausages, bacon, and hams contain chemical preservatives such as nitrites and nitrates, substances that, when ingested frequently, can trigger inflammation in the body. And inflammation is one of the biggest enemies of nerves. Constant consumption of these meats can affect blood circulation and hinder the transport of essential nutrients to nerve cells. This weakens the nerves over time, increasing the risk of neuropathy and other neurological problems. In addition, the high sodium content present in these foods overloads the blood vessels. With impaired circulation, the nerves receive less oxygen, which can lead to irreversible damage. And there's one more problem. Processed meats are high in saturated fats, which contribute to the increase in bad cholesterol. This further worsens circulation and can lead to progressive deterioration of peripheral nerves. People with a genetic predisposition, diabetes, or poor eating habits are even more vulnerable to this damage. And even those who do not yet have symptoms may be silently accumulating problems. But then, how to protect yourself? Replacing processed meats with natural options is a good start. Chicken, fish, and fresh cuts of beef are much healthier alternatives, as they don't contain the harmful additives found in industrialized versions. Plant-based proteins, such as lentils, beans, and chickpeas, are also great options, as they offer essential nutrients without the risks of processed meats. In addition, reducing the frequency of consumption and reading labels carefully can prevent major damage in the long run. But if you think processed meats are dangerous, wait until you discover the #1 food on this list. It seems harmless, but it is a real enemy of your brain and nervous system. 10. Refined carbs, the disguised sugar that poisons your nervous system. White breads, pasta, refined rice, and cakes are part of the diet of millions of people around the world. They are practical, tasty, and are always present for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. But what few know is that these foods may be destroying your nerves in silence. Refined carbohydrates have a high glycemic index, which means they are quickly turned into blood sugar. This causes glucose spikes that overload the body and can cause progressive damage to the nerves. When blood sugar remains elevated for long periods, a phenomenon called glycation occurs. This process damages essential proteins and lipids, promoting inflammation and weakening the nervous system. And the nerves are extremely sensitive to these inflammations. The result can be peripheral neuropathy, which causes tingling, pain, and even loss of sensation, especially in the hands and feet. In addition, refined carbohydrates often replace foods rich in fiber and nutrients essential for nerve health. While a white bread or a common pasta offer empty calories, the whole grain versions provide B vitamins, fundamental for nerve regeneration. And there's one more problem. Consuming too many refined carbohydrates significantly increases your risk of developing type 2 diabetes. Diabetes, in turn, is one of the main causes of neuropathy, as it compromises circulation and reduces the supply of oxygen and nutrients to the nerves. But there is a way out. Replacing refined carbohydrates with whole grain options such as brown rice, quinoa, and 100% whole grain breads is a simple step that can have great benefits. In addition, including fiber-rich foods in the diet helps keep blood sugar levels balanced, reducing risks to the nervous system. The choice is yours. Continue consuming these dangerous foods or opt for healthier alternatives to protect your nerves. And if refined carbs are already a problem, wait until you discover the next villain on the list. You may be consuming this drink daily without imagining the damage it may be doing to your nervous system. 9. Alcohol in excess, the drink that slowly destroys your nerves. A glass of wine for dinner, a beer on the weekend, or a drink at a party seem harmless. But did you know that excessive alcohol consumption can be one of the main culprits of damage to your nerves? Alcohol directly affects the absorption of essential nutrients, such as vitamins B1 and B12, which are essential for the maintenance and regeneration of the nervous system. Without these nutrients, nerves become more vulnerable to structural and functional damage. In addition, alcohol is a neurotoxic substance. That is, it directly attacks nerve cells. Excessive consumption can compromise communication between nerves, leading to symptoms such as tingling, numbness, and even muscle weakness. This condition is known as alcoholic neuropathy, a condition that can progressively worsen if consumption is not controlled. Another serious problem is that alcohol impairs the body's ability to repair existing damage. Unlike other organs, the nervous system has a limited capacity for regeneration, and any damage caused by alcohol can be permanent. And it doesn't stop there. Alcohol also dehydrates the body and unbalances electrolytes, substances essential for the conduction of nerve impulses. This imbalance can drastically affect communication between nerves, causing failures in the electrical signals of the nervous system. To make matters worse, the damage caused by alcohol begins silently. Many people notice only a slight discomfort or tingling in their hands and feet and ignore the signs. But over time, the condition can evolve into severe neuropathy, affecting mobility and quality of life. The good news is that reducing alcohol consumption can prevent these problems and even reverse initial damage. Drinking in moderation and prioritizing a nutrient-rich diet is essential to preserve nervous health. And if alcohol already seems like a great villain, imagine when it is combined with another dangerous food. This mixture can accelerate nerve damage and bring even more serious consequences. 8. Trans fats, the ticking time bomb. Hidden in your favorite foods. Have you ever noticed the crunchy texture of a filled cookie or the irresistible creaminess of an industrialized cake? These traits may seem harmless, but the secret behind them is one of the biggest enemies of your nervous health: trans fats. These artificial fats are widely used in the food industry to give more flavor, crunchiness, and increase the shelf life of products. The problem? They not only raise bad cholesterol, LDL levels, but also reduce good cholesterol, HDL, hindering blood circulation. And impaired circulation means your nerves receive less oxygen and nutrients, making them more vulnerable to damage. But the effects of trans fats don't stop there. They also increase the levels of inflammation in the body, creating an environment conducive to the development of neuropathy. Nerves rely on a protective layer called myelin to function properly. This protection can be undermined by the constant consumption of trans fats, making the nerves more susceptible to injury and failures in the transmission of electrical signals. As a result, symptoms such as tingling, numbness, and pain can appear without warning. And where are trans fats hidden? Industrialized cookies, margarine, snacks, fast food, and even some frozen pizzas are full of this dangerous fat. The big problem is that many people don't even realize that they are consuming trans fats daily. That's because some misleading labels carry information like zero trans fat, when in fact, small amounts are still present in the product. So how do you avoid this silent enemy? The best strategy is to replace these products with natural and healthy options. Natural oils like olive oil, coconut oil, and avocado are much more beneficial alternatives for the health of your nerves. In addition, opting for homemade foods instead of industrialized ones drastically reduces exposure to this dangerous fat. If you think trans fats are harmful, wait until you know the next item on the list. It may be in your kitchen right now, and you probably use it every day without imagining the risk you take. 7. Refined vegetable oils, the liquid that's poisoning your brain. Vegetable oils are widely used in the kitchen, whether for frying food, seasoning salads, or preparing everyday dishes. They're sold as healthy options, but the truth is that some of these oils may be causing silent damage to your nervous system. Refined oils such as soybean, corn, and canola go through aggressive chemical processes that destroy much of their natural nutrients. In addition, they are rich in omega-6, a type of fat that, in excess, can cause chronic inflammation in the body. And when there is constant inflammation in the body, the nerves are directly affected. The imbalance between omega-6 pro-inflammatory and omega-3 anti-inflammatory is one of the main causes of neurological damage and the development of neuropathies. But the problem does not stop there. Refined oils have poor heat resistance, which means that when heated, they release toxic compounds called aldehydes. These substances are highly harmful to nerve cells and can accelerate degenerative processes in the brain. Frequent consumption of these oils is also associated with metabolic disorders, such as insulin resistance and obesity, factors that further aggravate the risk of neuropathy. So, what to do to protect your nerves? The best alternative is to replace refined oils with healthier options, such as extra virgin olive oil, avocado oil, and coconut oil. In addition to being more heat stable, these oils offer antioxidant and anti-inflammatory properties that help protect the nervous system. Another important habit is to avoid fried foods and opt for healthier cooking methods such as baking, grilling, or steaming. With small changes in the kitchen, you can significantly reduce damage to your nerves and improve your long-term health. And if refined oils are already dangerous, imagine when combined with another ingredient widely used in food. This next item may be sabotaging your health even more aggressively. 6. Excess salt, the spice that may be making you sick. Salt is one of the most used ingredients in cooking, essential to enhance the flavor of food. But did you know that excessive salt consumption can be seriously damaging your nerves? Although sodium is a key mineral for the conduction of nerve impulses, too much can have a devastating effect on the nervous system. The problem starts with the elevation of blood pressure. When there is too much salt in the diet, the blood vessels constrict, making it difficult for blood to circulate. This means that the nerves receive less oxygen and nutrients, making them more vulnerable to damage and degeneration. Over time, this poor circulation can lead to neuropathy, especially in people who are predisposed or have diseases such as diabetes and hypertension. But the damage does not stop there. Excess sodium also stimulates inflammatory processes in the body, creating an environment conducive to the destruction of nerve cells. And the more inflammation, the greater the chance of symptoms such as tingling, pain, and loss of sensation appearing. The big problem is that many people consume much more salt than they imagine. It is not only table salt that is of concern, but ultra-processed foods such as sausages, snacks, ready-made sauces, and fast food. These products contain absurd amounts of sodium, often exceeding the recommended daily limit already in a single meal. But how to reduce consumption without losing flavor? A great alternative is to replace regular salt with natural seasonings such as garlic, turmeric, oregano, and fresh herbs. In addition, opting for natural foods prepared at home helps to better control sodium intake. Reading product labels and choosing versions with lower sodium content also makes a big difference. If you think salt might be a problem for your health, wait until you discover the next item on the list. This popular and beloved food may be sabotaging your nerves in an even more dangerous way. 5. Too much caffeine, the addiction that's taxing your nervous system. If you are one of those people who don't start the day without a cup of coffee, you need to know this. Caffeine, when consumed in excess, can be one of the main causes of problems in your nervous system. While small amounts of caffeine can improve focus and energy, overconsumption can have the opposite effect. It acts as a stimulant, forcing the nervous system to work harder than it should. And this overload can lead to the exhaustion of nerve cells, making them more vulnerable to damage. In addition, caffeine directly interferes with the quality of sleep, an essential factor for nerve regeneration. During deep sleep, the body repairs damaged tissues, including nerves. But if you have sleepless nights due to excess caffeine, this recovery is impaired. And this can accelerate the symptoms of neuropathy, such as tingling, aches and pains, and fatigue. Another point of concern is that caffeine can trigger energy spikes followed by sudden drops. These oscillations can affect the stability of the nervous system, increasing the risk of inflammation and neurological dysfunctions. And we're not just talking about coffee. Black and white teas, soft drinks, energy drinks, and even some chocolates contain caffeine in amounts that can be harmful when consumed in excess. But how to reduce caffeine without suffering from a lack of energy? One option is to replace some of your daily coffee with soothing teas, such as chamomile and fennel. Another effective strategy is to limit caffeine consumption to the morning, avoiding stimulating drinks in the afternoon and evening. If you think too much caffeine is already a problem, wait until you discover the next item on the list. This food is one of the most consumed in the world and may be affecting your nerves in a devastating way. 4. Sweets and sugary foods, the pleasure that comes with a high price for your health. Cakes, chocolates, cookies, ice cream. Who doesn't like a sweet treat once in a while? The problem is that excessive sugar consumption can be one of the great villains for the health of your nerves. This is because excess sugar causes blood glucose spikes, which over time cause progressive damage to the nervous system. This effect is directly related to glycation, a process in which excess glucose sticks to the proteins in the nerves, making them more rigid and prone to inflammation. And inflamed nerves don't work properly. The first signs of this problem can be tingling, numbness, and unexplained pain in the hands and feet. In addition, excess sugar contributes to the development of insulin resistance and, consequently, type 2 diabetes. And guess what is one of the main complications of diabetes? That's right, diabetic neuropathy, a condition that affects millions of people and can cause intense pain, loss of sensation, and motor difficulties. But the great danger of sweets and sugary foods lies in the fact that they are hidden in products that we can't even imagine. Industrialized sauces, breads, breakfast cereals, and even healthy yogurts often contain high amounts of sugar. So, how to reduce this risk? Opting for fruits instead of industrialized desserts already makes a big difference. In addition, replacing soft drinks and processed juices with unsweetened water or tea helps to significantly reduce daily glucose consumption. The choice is yours. Continue consuming sugar without control or adopt healthier habits to protect your nerves. If candy is already a big problem, imagine the next item on the list. You probably have this drink in your house right now, and you can't imagine how much it can be sabotaging your nervous system. 3. Soft drinks and industrialized juices, the drink that silently deteriorates your nerves. Refreshing, sweet, and easy to find, soft drinks and industrialized juices are part of the daily lives of many people. But what few know is that these drinks may be silently destroying your nervous system. This is because they contain very high amounts of sugar, which, when ingested frequently, overload the body. The result? Glucose spikes that inflame the nerves and increase the risk of neuropathy. But sugar is not the only problem. Many sodas and zero or diet juices contain artificial sweeteners, such as aspartame and sucralose, which can be neurotoxic. Studies indicate that these compounds affect the normal function of nerves and can contribute to symptoms such as headaches, dizziness, and even loss of sensation. In addition, soft drinks are highly acidic, which can interfere with the absorption of minerals essential for nerve health, such as magnesium and calcium. And without these minerals, nerves have even more difficulty functioning properly. Another worrying factor is that these drinks often replace more nutritious options. While you have a glass of soda, you could be consuming water, natural teas, or whole juices, which offer real benefits to the body. But then, what to do to avoid this damage? The best choice is to eliminate sodas from your routine and replace them with natural alternatives, such as water with lemon slices, unsweetened iced tea, or homemade juices. In addition to being healthier, these options hydrate the body without overloading the nervous system. And if you think sodas are dangerous, wait until you discover the next food on the list. It's consumed daily by millions of people and may be slowly compromising your nerves without you even realizing it. 2. Ultra-processed cheeses, the dairy you love, but that can harm you. Creamy, tasty, and present in several recipes, ultra-processed cheeses are a real temptation. But did you know that this food may be causing silent damage to your nervous system? Processed cheeses, such as slices, industrialized cottage cheeses, and those sold in tubes, contain alarming amounts of sodium, bad fats, and chemical additives. Excess sodium overloads the blood vessels, making it difficult for oxygen and nutrients to be transported to the nerves. Over time, this deficiency can lead to nerve degeneration, resulting in symptoms such as numbness, tingling, and unexplained pain. In addition, these cheeses are rich in saturated and trans fats, which stimulate inflammatory processes in the body. Chronic inflammation can damage nerve cells and impair communication between nerves, increasing the risk of neuropathy. But the problems do not stop there. The chemical additives used in these products, such as preservatives and artificial colors, can have cumulative effects on the body. Frequent consumption of these substances can affect nerve function and even compromise other body systems. And the worst, many people consume these cheeses daily without realizing the danger. But how to avoid these risks without giving up flavor? The best alternative is to opt for natural and minimally processed cheeses, such as white cheese, ricotta, and fresh mozzarella. In addition to containing less sodium and chemical additives, they offer beneficial proteins and fats that contribute to nerve health. Another strategy is to reduce the frequency of consumption of processed cheeses and always read labels to choose options with fewer artificial ingredients. If you think ultra-processed cheeses are already a danger, get ready to discover the worst food of all. He's one of the most consumed in the world and could be ruining your nerves without you even realizing it. 1. Fast food and fried foods. The lethal combination for your brain and nerves. Who can resist a crispy fries, a juicy burger, or that golden breaded chicken? The problem is that these foods aren't just delicious. They could be sabotaging your nervous health without you even realizing it. Fast food and fried foods are among the biggest villains of neuropathy, and there are several reasons for this. First, these foods are prepared with low-quality oils, often repurposed several times, releasing toxins that harm nerve cells. In addition, fried foods contain large amounts of trans and saturated fats, which increase inflammation in the body and hinder blood circulation. And as we already know, when circulation is compromised, nerves stop receiving essential nutrients, becoming more vulnerable to damage. But the problem does not stop there. Most fast food foods also contain high levels of sodium, hidden sugars, and chemical additives, an explosive combination for the nervous system. Too much sodium can increase blood pressure, overloading blood vessels, and making it difficult for oxygen to flow to the nerves. Hidden sugars, on the other hand, contribute to blood glucose spikes, increasing the risk of diabetes and diabetic neuropathy. What about chemical additives? Many of them have neurotoxic effects and can further aggravate nerve damage. The worst thing is that fast food creates a vicious cycle. It is highly palatable and addictive, causing the brain to crave more and more of these harmful foods. Over time, frequent consumption can lead to chronic inflammation, affecting not only the nerves, but the entire body. So, how to protect yourself from this danger? The solution lies in making healthier choices on a daily basis. Preparing home-cooked meals with natural ingredients, opting for healthier cooking methods such as baking and grilling, and avoiding fried foods already makes a huge difference. And when you feel like eating something crunchy, a good alternative is to use the air fryer, which drastically reduces the use of oil. Now that you know which foods to avoid to protect your nerves, it's time to get to know the true allies of your health. There are powerful foods that can help reverse damage and strengthen your nervous system. And best of all, they are affordable and easy to include in your routine. 4. Broccoli, the natural shield against nerve damage. Broccoli may be one of the most powerful foods when it comes to protecting nerves and fighting neuropathy. Rich in sulforaphane, a bioactive compound with anti-inflammatory properties, it helps reduce oxidative damage that can compromise nerve function. In addition, sulforaphane stimulates the production of natural antioxidants in the body, which act as a shield against inflammation and degeneration of nerve cells. But the benefits of broccoli don't stop there. It is also an excellent source of vitamin C and K, which aid in cell regeneration and strengthen blood vessels. With more efficient circulation, the nerves receive the necessary nutrients to function properly and prevent premature wear and tear. Another positive point is that broccoli contains fiber, which helps keep blood sugar levels in check. And this is essential to avoid one of the biggest risk factors for neuropathy, glycation caused by excess glucose in the blood. But what is the best way to consume broccoli to get the most benefits? Steamed is one of the best options, as it preserves most of its bioactive compounds. It can also be sautéed with olive oil and garlic, another powerful combination against inflammation. In addition, other cruciferous vegetables, such as cauliflower and cabbage, also contain sulforaphane and can be included in the diet to further bolster nerve protection. Now, if you want a true antioxidant boost for the health of your nervous system, you need to know the next food on the list. This little blue fruit can do wonders for your brain and nerves. 3. Blueberries, the miracle fruit that regenerates your nerves. Small in size, but giant in benefits, blueberries are true allies of nervous system health. These berries are extremely rich in antioxidants, especially flavonoids, which help protect nerves from oxidative damage and inflammation. But what does this mean in practice? Flavonoids fight free radicals, unstable molecules that cause oxidative stress and accelerate the wear and tear of nerves. This protective effect can prevent the onset of neuropathies and even aid in the recovery of existing damage. Another compound present in blueberries that deserves to be highlighted is anthocyanin, responsible for its vibrant color and powerful anti-inflammatory action. Studies show that regular consumption of blueberries improves communication between neurons, bolstering brain function and reducing the risk of cognitive decline. And the benefits don't stop there. Blueberries also aid in blood circulation, ensuring that the nerves receive the nutrients and oxygen they need to function well. This means fewer risks of tingling, numbness, and other symptoms associated with neuropathy. Additionally, they help regulate blood sugar levels, reducing the risk of nerve damage caused by glycation. But how to include blueberries in the diet in a practical way? They can be eaten fresh, added to natural yogurts, smoothies, or even in salads. Another option is to combine them with oatmeal for breakfast, ensuring an extra dose of fiber and antioxidants. And if you want to further enhance the health of your nerves, get ready for the next food on the list. It is rich in good fats and has the power to strengthen and protect your nervous system like few foods can. 2. Avocado, the smart fat your brain needs. Avocado is one of the most complete foods when it comes to protecting and strengthening the nervous system. This is because it is rich in monounsaturated fats, essential for the maintenance of myelin, the protective layer that surrounds the nerves. When the myelin is healthy, the nerves are able to transmit electrical signals efficiently, reducing the risk of nerve communication failures. But the benefits of avocado don't stop there. It also contains B vitamins, such as B6 and folic acid, which are essential for the functioning of the nervous system. These vitamins help in the production of neurotransmitters, chemicals that allow neurons to communicate. Another highlight is its high potassium content, a mineral that plays a key role in the body's electrolyte balance. This balance is essential for the conduction of nerve impulses, preventing muscle weakness and spasms. In addition, avocado is rich in antioxidants such as lutein and zeaxanthin, which fight oxidative stress and protect nerve cells from inflammatory damage. Regular consumption of this fruit also helps control blood sugar levels, reducing one of the biggest risk factors for neuropathy. And how to include avocado in your routine? It can be eaten plain, smoothie, added to salads, or even in the famous guacamole. Another healthy option is to use it as a substitute for margarine and butter, taking advantage of its creamy texture and nutritional benefits. But if you found avocado to be a superfood for your nerves, wait until you meet the next one on the list. It is small but extremely powerful when it comes to regenerating and strengthening the nervous system. 1. Pumpkin seeds. The little secret to rebuilding your nervous system. They may be small, but they have an impressive power when it comes to nerve health. Pumpkin seeds are one of the best natural sources of zinc, a mineral that is essential for nerve cell regeneration. Zinc aids in the repair of damaged nerves and improves communication between them, reducing symptoms such as numbness and tingling. In addition, these seeds are rich in magnesium, a mineral crucial for the balance of nerve impulses. Magnesium deficiency is associated with an increased risk of neuropathy, as it can lead to muscle spasms and nerve pain. Another powerful benefit of pumpkin seeds is their high vitamin E content. This antioxidant protects nerves from damage caused by oxidative stress and reduces inflammation in the body. But it doesn't stop there. These seeds also contain healthy fatty acids, which contribute to the maintenance of myelin, the protective layer of nerves. And the better the health of myelin, the more efficient the transmission of nerve signals through the body. Best of all, pumpkin seeds are extremely easy to include in your diet. They can be eaten plain as a snack, added to yogurts, smoothies, salads, or even crushed and used as flour in recipes. To get the most benefits, prefer to consume the seeds raw or lightly roasted, avoiding industrialized versions with excess salt. Now that you know the foods that help protect your nerves, it's time to understand the importance of taking action to transform your health. And believe me, small changes can bring surprising results. Taking care of the health of your nerves is not just a matter of comfort, but of quality of life. Small changes in your diet can be the difference between living with pain and limitations, or enjoying a strong, functional body. Now that you know the 11 foods that can destroy your nerves and the 4 that help regenerate them, the choice is in your hands. Every meal is an opportunity to protect your brain, strengthen your nervous system, and ensure a future with more energy and vitality. Avoiding the bad guys and including the right foods in your routine can not only prevent neuropathy, but also help reverse existing damage. And best of all, you don't have to give up the taste or pleasure of eating well. Nature offers us a variety of powerful foods that can transform our health. So, the question that remains is, are you ready to take control of your health and give your nerves the care they deserve? Your body will thank you for every healthy choice you make from now on. Get started today and feel the difference. And feel the difference. And feel the difference. And feel the difference.